battle for cash. Previously on the battle for cash.
Between you and your friends, have you ever thought of forming an investment club?
There's a way I'm thinking we can go to our different workplaces, ones that work in Kampala, and convince our workmates to start up an investment club.
The teams embark on the task at hand, the seemingly impossible, building a strong club.
The teams meet the host at the Serena Conference, home to NTV, Uganda's #1 TV station. Teams, this is your last task in the battle for cash. You could sigh relief, and this could be your toughest task today. We've picked television advertising. I mean, it's the most powerful and influential medium when it comes to influencing people's purchase decisions. It must be effective, it must be catchy, and you have to start somewhere, so you have to start with a good script. This creative TV ad can't be more than 60 seconds. So today you're the producers, you're the directors, you're everything. I'll need new team leaders before we go to the next point. So Team Alpha, Zeal, Omega, and Divas, you have a minute or two. Pick your new team leaders, of course one who hasn't been a team leader so far, and present them. Start now. Ready? This is a first. I have 3, 4. Remember, of course, you have until 3 p.m. today. Have fun. Television advertising is fun. Be creative, enjoy it, and make sure that everyone in your team actually does something, especially you team leaders. Watch them, assign them the roles, and good luck. I'll be handing over, of course, your task envelopes for your teams with all your instructions of the day. Ladies. Teams, you can start your tasks. The teams have to create a TV commercial for DFCU investment clubs running 1 minute. But first, they have to attend a training by Scanad Creative Director Dennis Wandera.
Whatever you're going to learn today, you'll use it in your personal life, in your business life, and your entire life. Okay? I want to take you through advertising, yeah? So let's start by asking ourselves, what is advertising? A message designed to promote a product, so it's not only about products, a service or an idea. Doing business without advertising is like, you know how you walk in the dark at night, 8 a.m.? Then somehow you see a beautiful girl, then you wink at her, but it's dark. She can't see you winking, but you're winking. Every business needs to advertise. And advertising is not sales. It contributes to sales, like she said, but it's not sales. Advertising is a component of marketing. So what is effective advertising? And that's the reason we're here today. People tell you why you need to advertise, but they don't tell you that your message needs to be right. It needs to be effective. So there's what we call the IDA model. First thing is attention. Your advert must grab me. You understand? Then there's interest. D stands for what? People must desire what you're selling. The last one is action. What is the use of advertising? What is the use of attracting people's attention? Then you get them interested. Then you have them desiring what to, desire. Desiring, your product, and they can't take action. If your target audience does not move or take action, then your advertising is dead. Advertising is both art and science. Art is the part you're going to do today and tomorrow when we give you the task. The science is when it's where, when, the message, and everything else, when it's going to run. So let's talk about interest, yeah? How do you gain interest? Because your ad must be interesting. If your ad is not interesting, then it's not working. When I hear an advert for the first time, that's the end. Yeah? For me to listen to it again and not switch the channel, it must be interesting.
All teams are about to enter the world of advertising.
Your task this week has all to do with creativity. You are to create a strong television advert about DFCU investment clubs that builds emotional and behavioral connections with customers. You only have 30 to 60 seconds to get your message across on the benefits of opening up an investment club. You will come up with an idea, script it, shoot it, and edit. You are advised to make use of your social capital to find the cast, locations, and props that you may need in the advert. You will be provided with a camera crew and edit suite to complete this task. But the cameraman and editors will be working under your directions. Each team will have 1.5 hours with the filming crew and 2 hours with the edit to piece the advert together starting at 12 noon. You may consult and ask for assistance from members of your different investment clubs. The team with the most creative and influential advert will be the winners. You have until 3 p.m. to complete this task. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, team leader.
After the training, teams have just 4 hours to produce a TV commercial for investment clubs. 9 a.m., teams have to agree on the big idea, the dream that they are selling. Storyboards are an integral part of the creative and development process. It's through these storyboards that the entire vision is realized and visualized. Beatrice and Fiona of Team Divas type their storyboard. The planning is over. Time to move on. All teams have tapped into their social capital to get cast members, props, and locations. Juliet, team leader Divas, has cast all team members in different roles.
Twagala tugezeeko tulage omukyala abakyala batereka ssente nga bawulira zi banka naye ng'ate bazitya kati twagala tuteekewo nti batereka ssente omwami bulijjo omukyala abakyala bamuwase natereka mu kabokisi ke omwami kumbe bulijjo amulaba gy'atereka amanyiyo omwami nga ssente ajjanga azisobola bulijjo twala ekisajjasajja ng'era kya mu kyalo oba kitamivu tamivu ate nemmemu ebitamivu bingi.
For their idea of a women's saving group, Juliet needs a home in a slum neighborhood and a man to play husband. The Omkago Bugongo ladies are deep in action. The director calls cut. But of course they don't hear, and the translator has also forgotten her role.
Acting has not been an easy job, but it's quite interesting. There's a part where I said cut and people were still acting. It was really frustrating because we have some Bachiga who cannot really understand some of the words we say. So when you say cut, someone just continues and they were struggling with someone, It was really funny.
And they hit my legs. They were so energetic fighting for their money.
Team Zeal, on the other hand, is going for the uptown market.
The message we are trying to put across is that saving has to be fun and you don't have to, it doesn't have to be boring. The whole activity has to be fun and interesting for you. Yeah.
Fahad is the director for Team Zeal's commercial. He calls the shots.
Stand by, rolling camera, action!
Now we have finished our last task of shooting, so it has gone on very well. And now we are heading to Serena Hotel for the video, for the studio thing and editing, all that. I think it has gone very well.
The 2 hours have elapsed. Team Zeal and Team Divas return to NTV to start on post-production. Still to come on the battle for cash. Team Alpha and Omega are calling action and cut.
NTV, turning on your world.
Life. Sometimes we try. Ask why. We cry, break, and wish we could die. Hope, daydream, window shopping, things we could buy. School fees, daily cheese. We get on our knees, and still, nothing comes with ease. But if we keep getting up again and again, understanding that no pain, no gain, never giving up, pushing up, hooking up with a startup, you stand up, set up, and realize it's time to wake up. Because you are a winner and headed up. No dream is beyond reach. Because DFCU is making more possible. DFCU, with pleasure.
Fanta tastes so delicious and so good, selling it is easy. Watch this. Hashtag, we're taking over.
Don't stop, come alive.
Hi, are you the new team marketing director?
Yeah, I'm Alex.
Hey guys.
Hey, Dad.
How are we doing that new commercial show that Fanta is omnisensorial?
Omni what?
Meaning Fanta awakens all your senses?
What about a guy who picks up a Fanta and then all of his senses get huge?
He can hear the bubbles.
See the orange colors.
There he is.
I love this idea.
That makes no sense.
Enjoy the great taste of Fanta, now in a new look.
Gabi, nagambye osiga ku kisenge.
Kola buli kyetaagisa osige nga bw'owangula mu kazanyo ka Plascon aka Paint and Wear. Gula langi ya Plascon ya mitwalo 10 kyokka ofune kakaali k'onaatakula osindike ku 6565. Olwo weewangulira ebirabo omuli n'okugenda okulaba ku Manchester United ng'ezannya mu Old Trafford. Siga owangule ne Plascon. Plascon, color your world.
As Africa's biggest supermarket, ShopRite has the lowest prices on the most delicious festive foods and the widest range of decorations. So you can turn your festive season from this to this. Get a 100 pieces pack of Africana tea bags for only 6,900 shillings. And 430 grams of Heinz mayonnaise for just 14,900 shillings. There's a low price festive season for everyone at ShopRite. Lower prices you can trust always.
The White Wall. Where do you start? Inspired by the world's most beautiful places, Sutherland has been bringing color to the world since 1907. Sutherland, let's color.
Hey yo, what's up? It's your boy Palazzo, the sucker free boss, the king of the east. Don't miss Palazzo Summer Concert Goodbye 2017 at Chat Down the Rugby Grounds on December 8th. Entrance is 20,000 shillings, 50,000 shillings VIP, and 2 million for tables. Proudly brought to you by
Coca-Cola.
Team Alpha's director is Brighton. His first problem is convincing these border guys to use their stage and bikes.
This is Omega Group, and we are heading to Nakasero Market right now. So our plan is to do a market scene, and the main characters are two market vendors, of one being a maize roaster, Mr. Musoli, and then we have a Magda seller.
Team Omega has staged their maize stand alongside other traders on the streets.
Mangada chikumi mangada sabo chikumi mangada nawe olimba tomumanyi mukazi omubanyirira okubanga omumanyi nange omukazi kikaze awanyirira chikola kyewalina ekisajja kyewakula Omega Investment Club netwalayo mu DFCU nga batuyigiza savings, financial advisories, loans okukakana nga tuli bwetu nange nga munyirira oyagala nkutwala munene oyagala gwe Musa
we are from doing the first scene. The good thing with the first scene, we were mainly aiming at trying to introduce DFC investment clubs to the local traders that we had two characters in.
We have a task of advertising. We are going outdoor to do advertising. Our strategy, we have picked on border guys at the stage. That's where we are going to do our acts.
Me, I was the mobile money lady, but it was very much busy. Just coming and telling them that I wanted to join the group.
The whole experience was a good one and a new one to me, because being out on the streets and acting was really, really a good experience. It was fun.
We are back from the shooting part of the advertisement, so we are back at Serena, so we are going to do the editing with the editors.
The teams meet the NTV editors next for post-production.
Then when you come back, still you need to do an editing script. I want to see this timeline. This and this. After 2 seconds, I want to hear music. After 3 seconds, I want this. And then how long is your commercial? It should be 1 minute. 1 minute, that is a lot. That's a lot. It should be less because you have to see. Standard commercial, normally 45 seconds. That is maximum.
Edward Lumala, editor for Battle for Cash. Stephen Mitendera, editor Tuwaye. Isaac Kugonza, editor Live Wire. And Karim Senkungu, graphics animator for Battle for Cash.
In life, we always have dreams to achieve. With DFCU, we start small, grow bigger, but we start now.
Better your life with DFCU investment clubs. DFCU Bank, making more possible.
NTV, turning on your world.
Pregnancy means different things to different people. What would a pregnancy mean to you now?
In my situation? No. That's why I use a coil. What about you? Jeez, I am not ready. That's why I use pills.
We can't wait.
We are ready to have a baby.
Man, I can't feed another child, so I support my wife to use implants.
What will another pregnancy mean to you now?
My land got finished. That's why I even got a vasectomy.
Trouble. My parents would kill me, that's why I'm abstaining from sex.
I cannot even afford airtime, so I use condoms.
To prevent unplanned pregnancy, visit a health center to find an option that works for you.
Tomorrow only, the world's biggest sales promotion is coming to ShopRite. Black Friday. With up to 50% off on selected products. Black Friday. Don't miss out on low prices like you've never seen before. Friday, 24th November, only while stocks last. So get there early. Stores open at 7 a.m.
Governor presents Friday Night Live with Uganda's legendary Africo Band, featuring the vocal poet Rema Namakula on Friday, the 24th of November, for only 50,000 shillings. Powered by NTV Radio 1. Governor, whatever your mood, we've got the Jar with Airtel Money is back. Win up to 2 million shillings every day in the cash box when you transact with Airtel Money. Dial *185# to send money, top up airtime, buy data bundles, pay bills like DSTV, Umeme, school fees, or borrow money using Wewole loan service and stand a chance to yola millions with Airtel Money.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Terms and conditions apply. Hey yo, what's up? It's your boy Palazzo, the sucker free boss, the king of the east. Don't miss Palazzo Summer Concert Goodbye 2017 at Shut Down the Rugby Grounds on December 8th. Entrance is 20,000 shillings, 50,000 shillings VIP, and 2 million for tables. Proudly brought to you by Coca-Cola.
Life. Sometimes we try. Ask why. We cry, break, and wish we could die. Hope, daydream, window shopping things we could buy. School fees, daily cheese. We get on our knees, and still, nothing comes with ease. But if we keep getting up again and again, understanding that no pain, no gain, never giving up, pushing up, hooking up with a startup, you stand up, set up, and realize it's time to wake up. Because you are a winner and headed up. No dream is beyond reach. Because DFCU is making more possible. DFCU, with pleasure.
News Updates is brought to you by
Paint and Win with Plascon. Color your world.
A reprieve for Parliament's Legal Committee as Speaker Kadaga agrees to release more money for public hearings on the age limit bill. Committee given more days to work. Free but in chains. 3 Kawesi Mad.
Buy paint worth 100k, get a scratch card, and SMS the code to 6565 for a chance to win great prizes, including a trip for 2 to watch Manchester United play. Paint and Win with Plascon. Color your world.
All 4 teams now have to meet the judges, and at the end, the judges will determine which team did the best advert, communicating the concept of investment clubs and the saving culture.
How are you, Team ZU? Great.
So the task was on advertising, and we gave you a task to go out and come up with a television commercial that would actually sell the investment club, the DFCU investment club, right? The first thing we want to understand before we actually look at what you finally came up with is what process did you go through? How did you do this? And how was it like, creating this?
So we first sat down and decided on the idea as a group on what to produce in relation to what was required for us targeting the emotion and the action towards saving. We first put in consideration how Ugandans were faring in East Africa, having been ranked the last. Then we said our strategy or our target should be the young generation, to help Ugandans to develop a culture of saving for the investment club.
So let's see the advert.
Welcome, Sean.
Sean, bye-bye. Hey, Sean, I forgot to give you money for breakfast. This is your money for breakfast, okay? Okay, I did. Okay, a good day. Bye-bye.
Welcome, Sean.
When we were young, we had a dream of owning a swimming pool, just like the one we had at school. So we started saving up for it. Over the years, our dreams grew bigger than just owning a swimming pool. So we started an investment club account with DFCU Bank. We invested our time, expertise, courage, and a lifetime to get us here. With DFCU Bank, making more possible.
Wow.
Very interesting.
Wow.
Did you believe you would make something like that in life?
That is yours?
Was that yours?
It is ours. But
okay.
It was the first time we never believed we would come up with a nice thing like this one.
So for me, as just a common viewer, what is the connection between this elderly man who is bringing the child? Why did you start the story like that?
Initially we wanted to portray that even a young child can have the sense that instead of spending all the money my father gives me for breakfast, I can actually save some small money and later on use it to achieve anything that I want to do.
So ideally this money that was being saved was the breakfast money?
Yes, that's
a bit of it, and then they have like a piggy bank at school?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the essence.
Okay, in between there, okay, the advert comes from the nursery schools, and you said 20 years later, yeah? And then we see a very big building, and you tell us how your dreams changed and then how you formed an investment club. How better would you tell that story, as opposed to putting the numbers there in terms of 20 years? How do you think you would have gone about that better?
Probably it would have shown like a genesis from right from when they're young, and then at a later stage when they have just formed another, maybe an investment club, and then show all that leading up towards the setting up of the big structure. But we realized that we were going to be time constrained, and we had to find a way of incorporating all that. That's why we ended up using 20 years later.
In your case, what was the insight? What was the underlying problem that you were trying to solve with this advert?
Well, from the different tasks that we've been going throughout this whole challenge, we've realized that in our country it's actually a big problem that we do not have that saving culture. So it's really essential that as a nation we have to develop that saving culture right from the grassroots. And that was that's where the genesis of the idea came from. Like, how do we solve this problem? You cannot tackle it from the top. You have to come right from the grassroots.
Yeah.
If we are to solve that problem, that's where the genesis of the idea came in.
Okay. I've noticed that in the final screen in the story, some of the members are actually in there. But what were the roles that individual members actually played throughout the whole process?
Well, our team leader was the executive director. Fahad was the director. I was the producer. Peter was the main actor. Yes, and Ellie was the executive producer.
What are your thoughts?
The story itself in itself is a good idea of delivering the message.
Okay.
However, like he asked, how after 20 years and what the brand was able to do for them so they can achieve that. I didn't see that, and it's not shown. You know, for example, we just see the building from nowhere. So that gap there needed to have been bridged using.
Should have probably have gathered as young boys and girls and seen sitting together and say, guys, let's start a club.
Yes. I think in terms of effectiveness, for me, it's 50% of that, which would be 15 for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that would be okay.
It's fair enough. Because the message is outrightly clear.
Yeah.
These are Z, right?
Yeah. And then creativity, slightly above that.
Yeah.
Like
I think
20.
I love the voice was very good, very clear. The song, there's a way they used effects.
Yeah.
I think the creative was good.
Yeah, I think 20 is good in terms of a creative idea to deliver the message. I think, you know.
Team Omega, you're welcome.
Thank you.
How was it?
The best idea was doing something that is related to the local population, because we want to educate the mass about investment clubs.
Okay, let's watch the idea.
uyu mukazi mama Mangada alindona mama Mangada mama Tom nize musa kasoro nindwa ekisajja kyewakula
njenda investment club ngetwala mu DFCU nga batuyigiza savings loans okukakana nga tuli bwe tuti nange nga munyirira bayagala nkutwala twala munene
bannange bantwala nenkyukira ddala ono Mangada yali wano yantwala mu Omega Investment Club ng'ekolagana ne DFCU nange nenkyukira ddala nawe tugende nkutwale DFCU nnungi tugende nkutwale tugende
DFCU Bank grow big but start now
kulaakulana ne DFCU Bank tandika kati.
Okay.
Your story is around people who actually leave the street, and DFCU investment clubs are able to help them become better. But some of the people, after leaving the streets, came back in the same clothes they were in before.
We actually intended that. We wanted to maintain a certain particular character. That character was special to us. She left after the advice of a friend and came back. We wanted to change just a little bit and make sure she appears the same person, but slightly changed. You know, the cloth on the head was off, and now specs, and now no more skirt is in laces.
What was the role of DFCU that we can actually see?
Different investment clubs begin to invest with DFCU Bank. They will later on develop, because DFCU as a bank, it encourages investment, not just saving. So with DFCU Bank, they will be able to have the opportunities DFCU offers. That's why they were able to see the gradual change in the other person.
So I perceive the story. I'm seated here, and an angel comes and says, Jamu Twali. And then all of a sudden I find myself looking good and all that. That's what I saw.
In between there was that process of saving and investment. So this person, she was selling Mangada first. After going to the DFCU, she saved some money, invested that money, and at the end of the day, bought a car. Then she came and picked the friend. Something like that.
You see, that's the story that is missing. What she went and did.
The golden thread is not there, connecting the dots.
Yes. In advertising, we can use exaggeration, but the exaggeration should not be misleading, because if your story is misleading, promises what the product cannot deliver, then the advert is definitely not effective. Someone needs to say, oh yeah, DFCU helped them do that, and you need to show. DFCU makes more possible. DFCU does not deliver miracles. People actually have to work towards that. They give you a platform, and you're able to grow yourself. Yeah, but otherwise, good job for a first time creating an advert. That was, yeah, I'm sure you're happy, aren't you?
Yeah.
And I'm sure you know it's not easy as well. Yeah? Good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
You can tell they had the story, but it's how they put it together. And that's why the scripting is key, for them to be able to say, let's remove this, let's add this. But you can tell in his, one of the gentlemen, in his mind,
he's telling
the story,
but he hasn't.
But in the ad,
it is not
it's not there. You understand? Yeah.
Yes.
On effectiveness, these guys, though, however, had a very strong proposition at the end, where they say start small and grow big.
Yes.
If only the story was tied to that.
Yes.
Yeah. In terms of messaging, you know, appealing to the target audience, I think that was missing.
That was missing.
And the
It had
messaging was
issues.
all wrong.
Yeah, it's not properly established. They missed the whole investment club
The group element.
So out of 20, this we're giving what, 5?
5, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
So you're welcome here. Thank you. So tell us, how did it go?
Following the trainer's advice, because he had told us of attention, the interest, the desire, and the taking action. So we decided to go for an outdoor advert with our target, or the scene area was to go in town where the borders, because we had a previous experience whereby we visited those border stages and they were not willing to open up accounts. So we said we have to go back and try to put up something that will interest them. So that was our first scene. And then to bring the desire was this person who accepted to open up an investment group with others. Then they had made success. We brought that in a way of a very posh car.
Do you think a posh ride is what? Is it an investment?
That was those were profits. They already made. They opened up. They bought land. They started the company, and these were just the small profits.
They're snacking around.
Investment club.
Sorry. Like you didn't join.
You know, I refused. And really I felt so bad.
I think at the end of this, some of you will realize that you probably need to start acting as well.
Exactly.
Hidden talent.
I know.
I like the way the characters are animated and the way they are trying to tell the story. It's just that there's a lot happening. At the beginning, you have about 5, I think, to 7 seconds where you're just showing photos. And part of the advert is not just when you're shooting, but how you decide to use the seconds in your post-production. Remember, we talked about how expensive advertising is. That's why we advertise in 15 seconds, 30 seconds, and all that. So 7 seconds is a full advert on its own, but we were doing nothing. Yeah. So the biggest question I have for you is, what was the role? How, according to your story, what was the role, or what is the role of DFCU Investment Club in your commercial?
Basically, the role of DFC in our commercial, we are trying to create people that through this investment club, we have moved the milestone. And this is what people need to know, that from clubs, you can move a milestone, not alone.
Okay, but then what happens between when there's nothing and when there's something? In between there, what happens? Because you've showed us someone who is trying to join.
The culture of saving.
Yeah.
Because as those people who joined, they started saving. They got those literacy classes. They went through even buying land, starting like company, and the company was doing.
Let me stop you right there. When you watch that advert, when you watch it again, can you say those people actually bought land? The story you're saying, can you see it in that advert? If I saw it today,
it was mentioned.
Actually, it was saying years later.
Yeah.
And that is where it came out.
When this guy came out of the car, he said, we have a company.
Yes.
He was still explaining to you, he picked a call and said, but they're even asking me to go for a board meeting. The story doesn't say the how. It doesn't show the how. When initially this guy came and told you about the investment club, ideally he would tell you why the investment club. What is it going to help us to do? Then when this guy comes out of the car, he needs to tell that story.
I think what we're trying to say is that we're trying to sell investment clubs. Adding on to what Adam is saying, when you see that guy, you see him as an individual. I expected to see a group. Why the investment clubs actually is that we are looking at high net worth investments, away from a car and a border, but to a building, to a factory, because now there is power of money coming together. You're pulling together. So in that ad, I can only envy, if it's not a correct word, politically correct, but I can envy my fellow former border guy because he has a ride.
Later on, he joined the what? The meeting. In the meeting, we discussed a variety of issues. We presented.
We want to see it
in the advert.
Yes, that's what
the story was there, but it was
no, and it goes back to what he was saying, that you know what, you have quite a bit of time at the beginning of the advert. That's not used for anything. Whereby you would have cut that out and probably added that meeting he was going to show all these other border guys now coming into this meeting, and they're talking about the company. And actually saying he's met you on a border guy, you know, on a border, you know, just to close the story, to give it closure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Well, as you can tell passionately, there's a story that we don't see.
Yes, but it is there.
Just like previously with the previous group. So I think for creativity, we can give them 15.
Yeah, 15. Yeah, halfway.
And then effectiveness. I'm sorry, I'm struggling with effectiveness. The story is appealing. I can watch the ad to the end, the reaction, like you've said. But then my takeout, you know, if it was just...
It's not talking about investment clubs.
Yes,
it's talking about
saving,
how to get rich.
How to get rich.
Yes.
But you see also, one of the strangest thing is there's no brand. They never close the ad with any messaging. There's no call to action, which is what sums up the messaging.
Yes,
so for me, that under messaging also pulled them down a bit. Okay. So the next group. Hello, Team Diva.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine.
How are you feeling today?
Yeah, good.
After the training that we had, you were supposed to go out there and create an advertising, a television commercial rather, on investment, on DFCU investment clubs. How did you come up with a story?
We look at former clubs, how they started. Because as we supers, we started like that. we had a safe. The only thing that was different from this advert is that our headmistress was the one keeping for us the safe.
Yeah.
So we didn't reach to the extent that her husband would steal the money. He just thought of getting robbers and get out the box. So she advised us to open up an account, that you are really saving much money. I'm so afraid to stay with this box in my house. Why don't you open up an account? So we referred the advert to that situation.
Mama Lucy, tusenzilese mangudino kwekubiriza munange. Sente zile zacha kanswani mukabanka kafako mnyumba. Mwaka buweddeko. Mukama wamanyi posi kubindo mchiga afuna sente. Chichira nange. Chichira chabudde wa. Ate chabudde wa. Otubye.
With DFCU Investment Club account, you dream it, you achieve it.
DFCU for all generations.
It's possible if you work hard on it, possible.
A very good job with that. Yeah. Apart from the part where 1 year later they were still in the same clothes.
We didn't change the clothes, just to show you that it's that day when we opened up that account.
That very day.
That very time after finding the youth is the very time when we went also to that.
I like the closing part that you brought in, saving for generations.
Yes.
What was the message you're trying to cut across?
Well, the message is, first of all, I was advertising the bank, DFCU, the Bank for All Generations. And then I wanted to create awareness to the general public that banking is not for a particular generation. Everybody, the young, the elderly, everybody can go and bank or invest. And then lastly, I also wanted to at least appear out of the crowd because I don't speak Luganda. All that time I was quiet. It was also personal branding. Thank you.
But you see, that's a good thing, the fact that you needed to appear, and maybe for purposes of the competition. But you see, you come out of nowhere, you appear in the adverts, which sort of breaks the story that you're trying to deliver. At that point is when you're supposed to be telling us why.
We had a little bit of argument. Yes. For me, I don't speak Luganda.
Yes.
And then well, I would have spoken my language, but nobody would understand. So, in the process, we had to divide the roles.
Okay.
Yeah.
There are two sides to it, yeah? You know, like you said, to invest, you have to save. So you've handled the saving part here. So what we're simply asking is, we don't see the investment part coming out.
But when you look at that advert, these are female people, I mean, old people, ordinary people, who started up circles. There are actually so many thousand circles out there, and they keep money at home. Yes. They bring in money because they're not informed. And so our advice here was, when Tise came in, okay, the advert was like they save money on a monthly basis. By the end of the year, they give it to someone, like as a loan, so that she goes and they were giving it to Muchiga to go and buy land, so that next year someone else gets.
Sometimes you don't actually have to tell the entire story, and that's normally the challenge, yeah? But you need to tell the most important story.
Yes.
You could have created a scene where you're discussing how the financial literacy went, or what you are advised by the bank. You could have created a day where someone from DFCU came to speak to you as a, you understand? Yeah.
It was a very beautiful story.
Yeah.
I liked it. It resonates with what we have on the ground.
Yes.
I think that was very creative.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Well done, ladies.
So everyone has a story.
Everyone has a story, but it can't fit in
It
the
can't fit in one space.
And I like the fact that
So tell us, how do you make stories fit?
The lady was like, let me read for you.
The whole thing.
It was going to be a movie.
Yes.
She's basically telling you, you know, these guys that edited,
They just removed our
They
thing.
removed our
They
things.
cut a lot of things.
Yeah.
But before we go to anything in this team, they still have issues of
Yes.
teamwork.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of undermining. It was even written all over their presentation.
yeah.
I want to talk and I want to talk more, and teamwork is an issue.
Yeah.
The judges had deliberated hard and reached a consensus on whose advert best represents investment clubs. So they summoned all the teams back for the verdict.
I must say, you guys did a very good job. As first-timers, you're in a good place now to decide what is best for your individual investment groups, isn't it? Yes, we're going to award you some marks. Yeah? So we'll start with Judge Adam.
Okay, I'll go with Team 0. You've been able to score 60 points, yeah, out of 100, and that puts you in second position.
Who wants to be judged by the teacher? Alpha? No, I think I'll do Omega. You're able to get 40 points out of 100. You know? And yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Please go ahead and tell them your position.
Well, unfortunately, once again, you lived up to your name, and you came in last, which does not mean it's the end. It means that this is an opportunity for you to, you know, work better for your next task. Yeah? Okay? Good job.
Team Divas?
Yes.
I want to congratulate you. You came out number 1. And so that goes without saying.
With how many points?
They did 70 points. Yes. Out of.
However, you would have even actually gotten a 90.
Even a 90.
If your teamwork was well done.
Yeah.
What brought you down was teamwork.
Teamwork.
Much as you're number 1, there is still a big issue to sort out. And Alpha, you had 53 points, and you came in third.
Okay.
It's possible.